Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Pat Bekken, who is the board president for the Portland PFLAG chapter. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Deborah.
How are
Good to
you?
talk with you. Great. Well, considered great, actually.
Good, good.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for joining us. As you know, we're talking to our LGBTQ plus organizations this year as part of Virtual Pride. We'd all love to get together in person. We know that's just not possible.
Mhm.
So we just want to make sure that everybody's able to connect with you and that we're able to stay connected as a community.
Yeah.
So let's start with a little bit of what is PFLAG and what do you do, and a little bit of maybe what you're focusing on right now in these times. How is COVID impacting what you're doing and how you're doing it? And then we'll go from there.
Okay, great. I really appreciated when you contacted me about this interview with you to think about what we would share if I was standing at the booth at Pride. And, I'm going to try not to be emotional, but that is one of the most profound and beautiful experiences, being a part of PFLAG, supporting the queer community, participating in celebrations. And when people ask how they can be involved or be a part of PFLAG, we always say, come walk with us in Pride, or come and help us staff the booth. And you'll really get a sense of what it is PFLAG does. And without a doubt, it's those kind of experiences that you couldn't plan it. You can't, I can tell people to anticipate is that when people come up and say, what's PFLAG? And you start sharing with them what we do. And I just say, share from your heart, what attracted you to PFLAG? And then that's a wonderful experience to have to share with people what we do. Another thing that happens is people come by the booth and they say, thank you so much. I love PFLAG. If it hadn't been for PFLAG, this. And we hear the most tender, incredible stories that people have had in their hearts about PFLAG for decades. So what is PFLAG? PFLAG is the largest national organization in the country, the oldest and the largest, that originally came together to support lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer folks. We began very humbly. It started with a simple statement by a woman, by a mother. Her name's Jean Manford, and she was supporting her son, Morty, who had been a victim of police brutality in the Stonewall riots. And so I won't go into Stonewall. Folks, if you don't know or haven't heard of it, Google it, and it's an important part of queer history.
Right.
And so she was marching, this was 1972, she was marching with her son Morty in actually a protest. It was called the Christopher Street Liberation Day March. And actually it is a precursor to what we call the Pride Parade and celebrations today. And she was carrying this simple handwritten sign that said, "Parents of gays, unite in support for our children." And I actually have this iconic picture. I don't know, can you see it?
Oh, nice. Right on.
Yeah. So you can see that gentleman to her, what would that be? Her left shoulder, in the white shirt and the white hair. My understanding is that is the famous pediatrician, Dr. Benjamin Spock.
Wow.
And when
Okay.
she was walking by with that sign, people were applauding. And she knew that that was him behind her, and he was very well known. And so she thought people, it's not funny, she thought people were applauding for him, and they were applauding her for carrying that sign. And young people were coming up to her and saying, "Would you please talk to my parents?" And so that was the beginning of PFLAG. It was in March of that year that the first meeting happened. And of course, they had to be stealth and on the down low. About 20 people attended. And then within years after that, the idea of getting together parents to support their queer youth or children spread across the country. And then we are now, 400, greater than 400 chapters strong. We have more than 200,000 members. We're intergenerational. Our vision is we envision a world where diversity is celebrated and that everyone is respected and valued and affirmed regardless of their sexual orientation, their sexual identity, and their gender expression. We have a simple mission. It sounds simple, but it's not always easy.
Right.
Our mission is threefold. It's about support, education, and advocacy. And our education continues all the time. We are constantly, as I shared with you just a few moments ago, we don't need to go down that experience, that example, that I continue to learn all the time. Mm-hmm. And so the community itself, I've been a part of PFLAG since 2008, and this is just one of those experiences in life. Although it's hard, I really feel, I love to identify myself as the blessed mother of a gay son, because having a gay son and my deciding that I want to support him, because I'll be honest, the first time when he came out to me, I got scared. I was afraid for him. I mean, he's a big guy, don't get me wrong, but just from the perspective of how society has responded to the queer community, and in some areas of the country, worse than others. And I'll be honest, my mind went to Matthew Shepard. And again, for folks who are hearing this interview and that don't know who Matthew Shepard is, please Google that. Another piece of important history. It's very tragic. But he was attacked and eventually died as a result of the attack. And I was afraid for my son. And so I found PFLAG and I've never left. And now I'm honored to be the board president. And so we're a grassroots organization. We do have a national office that is staffed. There is a national board of directors. There's an all-volunteer regional directors council, and all the chapters are staffed by volunteers. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes when I feel like I'm struggling and trying to be creative or wanting to help someone, I have a very dear friend, the former president of Portland PFLAG, Dawn Holt, and she always gently reminds me, we're all volunteers doing the best we can. So we hold on to our intention, and that's the best we can do.
First, I really appreciate all of that context and that background. I think we've now come to a place where it's possible for organizations like PFLAG, because you have been around for so long. Same thing with Pride, to be taken for granted, to be like, oh, PFLAG's there, without really digging into what you've built and the environment of community and love that you've built for LGBTQ plus people and with our community. And so I think it's important for people to hear that background and to hear that history. And it's only a snippet that you've provided. It's huge. Yeah. How is the current time, the whole pandemic COVID thing, impacting what you're doing right now?
Well, like every organization and nonprofit, we're challenged to continue to do our outreach. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, I have been challenged and try to step up to the challenge to learn about social media and just what am I trying to say? I'm losing my train of thought or terminology, but learning how to use the Zoom platform.
Oh yeah.
And
All the
so
technology.
technology, thank you.
Mhm.
Words just went away. But anyway, technology, I'm of that generation. It doesn't jazz me. I mean, I'm not looking for the latest phone, and I barely get everything my phone can do now. But anyway, the point being is that COVID has challenged everyone to up their game. And what we're doing is, I mean, our current priority is how to stay connected.
Right.
And so our priority is to let people know that our mission hasn't changed, of education, support, and advocacy, and that we're still here, and that we want to hear from you. We want to support you. We want to be a part. We need your support. And so since COVID has hit, PFLAG has developed a online support circle, is what we call it, PFLAG Connects. And that's how we're meeting at the moment. And what we're doing, being able to translate our live meetings onto a online platform was a little challenging. Trying not to be too self-deprecating here, but it was a challenge for our board to start learning how to use this and still hold on and be able to translate that spirit of love and caring and concern.
Yep.
But you know what? We're doing it. We've had a couple of online meetings now, and we have another one there on the second and fourth Thursdays of the month. All folks have to do is go to the website or our Facebook page, and it's very clear there how you can sign up. It's very easy to attend one of our online sharing circles.
So
And
what's the before we because that moves us into our next point, actually, in terms of how folks can get involved with PFLAG and support PFLAG, either one of those. What's the best way to what's your website?
Well, our website is very easy, pflagpdx.org.
Okay. And if they're on social media, Facebook?
It's just PFLAG Portland.
PFLAG Portland, okay. And if folks want to give a donation to PFLAG, is that through the website as well?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
So join us, please. I mean, you asked how could the community support us. I would say, please join our mailing list, attend our online support circles, because, joining our calls, whether you're new to the community, your loved one has just come out, your loved one has been out, you just simply want to connect with those who you're an ally and you want to connect with this community. You have a story, and our stories are important. They're the foundation of how we support others, through our stories. Yours is uniquely yours. There's no right or wrong. And everyone is on the path. We're just at different spots on the path. And sometimes somebody's ahead and you hear their story and it's like, oh, I didn't even have to ask that question. There's the answer. Or you share your story and someone else who's on the trail a little bit behind you, you model to them the courage to give voice, or that there is hope, or that this can be resolved. I'm of the personal belief that I have had trials and major challenges in my life, and the reason is because once I got through them and can turn around and look back, I can share with somebody honestly, you can get through this. It can be done. I don't necessarily have to tell my story, but I feel genuine and honest when I look somebody in the eye and say, I believe you can get through this. And so again, how can you help us? Join our mailing list, join our calls, share your stories. and ask your questions, share your experiences. They're valuable experiences. And finally, I think I like folks to know that your support is so appreciated. And I think back on an experience at one of our live chapter meetings, and someone introduced themselves as, "Oh, I'm just an ally. I don't really have a family member who's queer or anything, but I just feel like I want to support this community. How people are being treated, it's not right. I'm just an ally." And someone who is part of the community stepped up and said, "I just have to tell you how much that means to me,
Mm-hmm.
that you feel like you don't even personally know anyone really or connected to. Actually, you are. You probably just don't know." However, just that you would do that, it meant so much. So in my opinion, there's no such thing as just an ally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so also you can call, I want to let folks know they can call our helpline.
Mm-hmm.
Our number is 503-232-7676. If you'd like to reach out, if you have questions, someone will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. You can email us at info@pflagpdx.org as well if you'd like to ask any questions, or just reach out. And you know what? Even if it's just as simple as, "I'd like to just talk to somebody privately."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, prior to COVID, we would say, "Hey, we can meet you at a coffee shop," or something like that. So anyway, you can give us a call, you can email us, you can go online to the website and our Facebook page.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate Pat sitting down with us to talk about PFLAG. I know that in my own experience, PFLAG is in my Pride experience. PFLAG is a huge part of that.
Mhm.
I've known Dawn since I became involved with Pride, and then now you. And I'm in my mind of like, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get my PFLAG sticker this year because I can't get it at the end of the parade. And I know the impact that PFLAG has had on people in my community, and our ability to make it through and to thrive and to succeed. So I just really want to thank all of you for your support and your work.
You're welcome. And thank you. Mm-hmm.